What's up YouTube, back with another video. And in my last video when I went over the Bucks Freelance and a few plays in their playbook, I did it all in one video for the first time and y'all seem to like that format, so I'm back at it again. And in this video I'll be going over the Clippers Freelance and 4 plays in the Clippers playbook. So with that being said, let's get into it. So we're gonna start with the Freelance description, but real quick I just want to say that this Freelance is very similar to the Bucks Freelance and they share a lot of the same actions as well as 5-out spacing. So it says best for teams who excel with floor spacing with perimeter oriented power forwards and centers. This is true, so you get 5-out spacing with this Freelance. So if you have shooting at all 5 positions, this can be a good Freelance to run. Play example they give is a bunch of players I don't even play for them anymore. Types of actions, handoff, pick and roll, ball screen. You'll also see post ups as well. I did notice the Freelance run a good amount of post ups for Kawhi. Positives, optimal floor spacing. Negatives, not a lot of scoring opportunities for a power forward and center. So that's true. So if you have bigs that you want to play through in the post, this wouldn't be a good Freelance to run for them. And the only way they would really get the ball is from driving kick situations. So if the defense doesn't help off of them, then they're not really going to get a lot of shots. Now getting into the actions, first I'll start with actions that you'll see if you bring the ball up to the top of the key, then go over actions when you start with the ball on the wing. This first action ends up being a post up for Kawhi. So Reggie Jackson has the ball at the top. I pass it to Cousins on the wing, then pass to Kawhi in the post. Then I back him down a little bit, hit him with a spin and get a layup. Here's another example of this. So again, Reggie has the ball at the top. I pass the ball to Cousins on the wing, then pass to Kawhi in the post, and this time I hit him with a post fade. This next action leads to a wing 3. So I have the ball with Jackson at the top. Then Morris will set a screen for Kawhi and Kawhi will come out to the wing and I'm open for the 3, so I take it. Here's another example of this, but this time I end up getting a dunk. So again, Jackson has the ball at the top, then Cousins screens for Kawhi and Kawhi comes out to the wing, but this time I'm not open. So I hold the ball and then Cousins comes back to set me a screen again. And then I attack. I pull up for a shot, but then I pass out to Cousins and get a dunk. This next action I end up getting a 3. So Jackson has the ball at the top, then I'm gonna dribble to the wing and hand the ball off to Kawhi, and after that Morris will come up and set a screen for me, and then I'm going to attack, and as I attack the defense helps, so I pass to Paul George in the corner for the 3. Here's another example of this. So again, Jackson has the ball. I hand off to Kawhi. Then Morris comes up, sets the screen. I attack. The defense helps again. And Paul George gets another open 3. This next action, I end up getting a dunk. So Jackson has the ball at the top. Then I pass it to Kawhi on the wing and then Paul George in the corner. Then Kawhi sets a screen for George. And from there, I attack the rim and get a dunk. Here's another example of this. So again, I have the ball with Jackson at the top. Then I pass it to Kawhi on the wing and Cousins in the corner. Then Kawhi sets a screen for Cousins and they both drop. So I end up getting a 3. And I honestly don't like that action when my center is handling the ball, but I made it work. This next action, I end up getting a dunk. So Jackson has the ball at the top. Then Morris will set a screen for Kawhi. Then he'll come out to the wing and I pass him the ball. Then Jackson sets a screen for Kawhi, and as I come off the screen, I'm supposed to pass it to Cousins on the wing, but I keep the ball and attack the rim and get a dunk. Here's another example of this. So again, I have the ball with Jackson at the top. I pass to Kawhi on the wing. Then Jackson comes to set the screen. And as I come off the screen, I attack. But this time the defense helps. So I pass it to Morris in the corner. I miss, but I get a wide open shot. And the last action ends up being a post up for Kawhi. So Jackson has the ball at the top. Then I pass it to Morris on the wing. Then Cousins will set a screen for Kawhi. Then Kawhi will go into the post. And from there, I do a post drive and get a dunk. Now getting into some of the wing actions. This first one is a pick and fade that leads to a dunk. So right here, I have the ball with George on the wing. Then Kawhi comes up to the top and I give him the ball. Then Jackson comes in and sets a screen for him. And Jackson fades out and I attack the rim of Kawhi, get a dunk. Here's another example of this. So again, I have the ball with George on the wing. Then Kawhi comes up to the top and I give him the ball. And Morris comes and set the screen and I attack. But this time the defense helps. So I kick it to George for the corner 3. This next action is a pick and roll that leads to a lob. So right here I have the ball with Jackson on the wing, and I have the option of passing it to the corner or up top. So I pass it up top and then I kick it to Kawhi on the other wing. Then Cousins will come and set a screen, and as I attack he rolls and I throw him a lob. This next action is a pick and roll that leads to a 3. So I have the ball on the wing with Jackson, and I have the option of passing it to the top or to the corner. So I pass it to the corner, but I just end up passing it right back, and then I pass it to Cousins at the top, and I hand the ball off to Kawhi. Then I wait, and Paul George comes to set me a screen, and as I attack, the defense helps, so I kick it to Jackson in the corner for the 3. This next action is a handoff that leads to a dunk. So I have the ball on the wing with Cousins, then I pass it to Jackson at the top, then I'm gonna dribble to the wing and Kawhi will come up, and as he comes up I hand him the ball, and from there I attack the rim and get a dunk. This next action is a handoff that leads to a lob. So I have the ball on the wing with George, and I dribble towards the corner and hand the ball off to Jackson. Then Morris will come and set a screen, and from there I attack and draw the defense. He rolls and I throw him a lob. This last action is a side pick and roll that leads to a layup. So I have the ball on the wing with George, and I pass it to Kawhi at the top, then pass it to Jackson on the wing. Then Cousins comes to set the screen, and I go baseline and get a reverse. You'll also see some actions in transition, but it's usually just some type of pick and roll. So right here I force a miss, and Kawhi gets the rebound, and I dribble up the court, and Cousins will come and set a screen for me, and I drive and get a dunk. So those are pretty much all the actions that you'll see, and there may be a few actions here and there that I didn't go over, but for the most part those actions are some type of pick and roll or pick and fade. And getting into my thoughts about the Freelance, it's pretty good. It's, like I said, it's very similar to the Bucks Freelance, to the point where I don't even really notice a difference. But either way, I really wouldn't use this Freelance or the Bucks Freelance for the actions themselves. I would really just use it for the spacing, and just either call my own pick and rolls or just call ISO and just score from that. Because if you have shooting at all 5 positions and you're kind of good with the dribble moves, you're pretty much unguardable. Now getting into the plays, I'm going to go over 4 plays, and at the end I'll show a few clips of me using some of these plays against real people in Play Now Online. So let's get into it. The first play is the fist 25 give 12. You can call this for anybody that has pick and roll ball handler priority. If you don't know what play priorities are, I'll leave a link to a video in the description that can help. So right here I call it for Kawhi, and he's going to start in the corner, and Jackson's going to have the ball at the top. Then I'm going to dribble to the wing, and Kawhi is going to come up to the wing as well, and I'm going to hand him the ball. And after that Zubac will come up and set a screen, and then I'm going to attack and I get a dunk. So I remember going over this play in the Bulls playbook video, and I used it a few times in the Bulls gameplay that I got for Zach LaVine, and it was pretty much a free dunk every time. And I really like this play. It's really consistent, but also pay attention to that corner guy, because sometimes he'll help. So if he does help, then pass it to your shooter in the corner. Also, you don't try to have to force a dunk every time. Sometimes you could just come off that screen and pull up for a mid-range or even maybe a fader, depending on who you have. So right here, Kawhi Leonard, he has like goal difficult shots, so I can come off that screen and shoot a fade, but you don't necessarily have to fade if you don't have to. A lot of times you'll just be open off the mid-range, so just stop, set your feet, and shoot. The next play is the quick 4 STS Flare. You can call this for anybody that has 3-point priority, and it's designed to get you a 3 on the wing. So right here, I call it for Paul George, and he's going to start on the wing, and Jackson's going to have the ball at the top. Then George will come up and set a screen, and from there I attack. But as I attack, Zubac sets the screen for George, and he's going to run a flare, go out to the opposite wing, and get open for a 3. The play also ends in the pick and roll, so if you don't get open, just hold the ball, and Zubac will come and set a screen for you, and you can try to create a shot off of that. So I really like this play, and I remember going over this play for the first time in like 2K19, and it was good back then. It's still good now, and it's one of those tricky distraction plays that catch people off guard, because once you come off that screen, you're supposed to just stand on the wing, but I like to attack, because when you attack, it draws the defense in, and then you could just kick out for open threes. The next play is the quick slice. You can call this for anybody with 3-point priority, and it's designed to get you a 3 on the wing. So right here, I call it for Paul George, and he's going to start in a corner, and Jackson is going to have the ball on the wing. Then I'm going to pass it to Zubac at the top, and then give the ball back to Jackson. And then George will get a screen from both Batum and Zubac, come out to the wing, and get open for a 3. So this play is pretty good. Just be careful when you have the ball at the top with your center, because you have to dribble over to the wing a little bit to give the ball back to your guard. And when you do that, sometimes people might reach on you just because they see your center handling the ball. And so they might end up fouling you most of the time, but just make sure you protect the ball by holding LT or L2 just so that they don't steal it. And the last play is the quick 13 pin. You can call this for anybody that has 3-point priority, and it's designed to get you a 3 on the wing. So right here, I call it for Paul George, and he's going to start in the corner, and Jackson's going to have the ball at the top. Then George will get a screen from Zubac, come out to the wing, and get open for a 3. You can also get a corner 3 out of this as well. So again, I call it for George, and he starts in the corner. Then he gets a screen from Zubac, but I don't pass him the ball. I just keep it and I wait. And then Zubac will set another screen from him, and he'll go into the corner and get open for a 3. So this play is okay. It's not as consistent as the last two, but it's pretty fast. So this could be something that you can call if you don't have a lot of time left, or you just want to get a really quick shot. Also, that corner option is good if you have somebody that's denying you the ball. So like in a lot of games, if my opponent notices that I'm scoring a lot with one person, or I'm calling a lot of plays for that person, they'll just start to personally guard him and try to deny him the ball. So I would call this play, and once he comes off that first screen to the wing, a lot of times they'll try to jump the passing lane and get the steal, but I would just wait for the corner action, and they really won't be expecting that, so I get an open 3 that way. So that's pretty much it for the plays. This playbook is okay. It's not amazing, but it's not garbage. It's pretty average to me, and the rest of the video is just a few clips of me using some of these plays and playing out online. So I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content.
Defense shaking their heads, no idea how to stop him in this quarter. He's got him on the ropes.
Here's the screen. Outside, George. Misses the 3. Back to George. George double teamed. And the wide open shot for Morris.
Last breaker hurt Ron Lewis. He talked with the team. He said, this is where mistakes can kill us. This is where mistakes can turn this thing completely around. Protect the basketball and make the simple play.
Now, here's George. Pass to Cousins. Back to Jackson. On the wing, George. Shoots the 3. George.
And I think that one could have easily have fallen for him.
Jackson deciding where to go with it. And George, here we go.
Give them credit.
Take one more 3-point shot, and we're going to have some conversations here side by side.